Hello, everyone. My name is Troy Vosseller, co-founder here at gener8tor, and it is my honor to kick off our very next gener8tor Founder Series Spotlight. Today, we have Ashia Livaudais, the founder and CEO of SymbyAI. Asha, thank you for being here. Please introduce yourself and your company.
Indeed. Hi, I am Ashia Livaudais. Before doing SymbyAI work, I was a physicist by occupation. Love science, have always been involved with some sort of AI or deep learning for science. And so I figured why not start a company that can help me explore that even more so. So SymbyAI, the TLDR version, is that we use artificial intelligence to automate the process of experiment replication. And so what that means is imagine you have some paper, some grant proposal, some patent that is related to research. You can use our platform, which uses artificial intelligence, to replicate the findings in that paper that are mathematical, statistical, or computational, but also to verify the quality, the previous quality of some of the other assets related to those authors, and all sorts of things. So we're really a big end-to-end scientific operating system.
I love
So
it. Tell us about your current traction. Notable customers,
yeah.
revenue, fundraising, and investors, anything you'd like to share in that regard.
Indeed, indeed. So I'm going to blow my own horn a little bit. We did just last year raise a $2.1 million seed round during a particularly difficult quarter to raise. So super proud of that. We've been getting pretty good traction since day one. We've been able to snag contracts before we even really had a good solid MVP, just based on the ability to sell people on the idea and knowing that this is something that our customers have wanted before Symby was even a thing. And so as far as traction is concerned, we've been seeing really good traction. We ended last year with about $550,000 in contracted ARR. We're very, very quickly getting to the road to 1 million. We are about $200,000 away. I can't wait till we get there. We might even be less than $200,000 away from that 1 million ARR mark. So I'm super excited about that. But for me, the real goal is to have a pretty reasonable share of at least one of our preferred markets by the end of the year. And so for us, when thinking about customers, we sell to people like academic publishers. We've got some clinical research systems that are customers. We have computer hardware that are customers. Really, anybody that's doing some form of experimental design or research work, we want them on the docket. And so for us, an easy one is starting with those academic publishers. That's where all the real research is going anyway. It's good to have them on your side to sell to others. And so we really want to be ubiquitous in that market by the end of the year, and we are on a great track to do so.
I love
So
it. And congrats and good luck on that 1 million ARR. That's a huge milestone and kudos to you and your team. Um, so the company's located in Huntsville. Why Huntsville?
yes, I love Alabama. I think Alabama is the most biogeographically beautiful place in the United States. Um, Beyond that, though, I also think that Huntsville and Alabama at large, especially Huntsville and Birmingham, are really doing a great job of reframing Alabama as a research hub. I like the idea that there are different forms of research that can exist in places that are in the same names. And I'm sure as co-founder of gener8tor, you understand where I'm coming from, but that you can do great and innovative work without having to necessarily drain all the talent into one or two places in the entirety of the United States. And so I like the kind of novel thinking of how having Alabama be one of those places, especially with the entities that are already sort of placed there. And so I figure us being in the Huntsville area is kind of a part of that new push to make the sort of invigorative engine of science or research happen in Alabama or the Southeast at large. So yeah, that's why.
I love it. We're big fans of Alabama as well, and big thanks to Innovate Alabama throughout the state, as well as RCP companies, specifically within the Huntsville region. I know you were fortunate, and we were fortunate to have you go through our gBETA Huntsville program. When did
Sure.
you go through that program? And just tell us more about your gener8tor experience as a whole.
I went through the program from late 2023 to early 2024. And it was fantastic. Rochelle was sort of my advisory eagle or angel, really, if you want to call her that, during the process. And I went from before actually doing the program. I didn't know anything about startups. The only reason that Simby became a business and I decided like not to go and live in a van down by the river and just code cool things on my own time was because my then co-founder had just made a suggestion. And so I said, okay, great. We know that we want to make this a startup. Who actually exists in the area that can give us a better idea of how these things operate? And I found Rochelle, and through Rochelle, I found the gBETA program, which was such a godsend for, again, me, little Bo Peep, had not a thought in her mind about startups going from like zero to hero. And so for us, it was we had no knowledge of that. Finding the gBETA program, being directly placed in Huntsville, being lucky enough that the applications were rolled, or at least at that time, open for us to apply, getting such good feedback from Rochelle before we even started the program. And she's still a huge boon today. So yeah, that's what kind of inspired it.
I love it. Shout out to Rochelle. Thank you. And
Indeed.
I love the line, help you go from zero to hero, although you were never a zero. Um, how do you think that
Or one.
how do you think the accelerator helped you the most?
Yeah. So what I like about doing startup stuff in general is that a lot of it that seems like luck is actually just systems thinking. Right? If you want to raise your pre-seed or seed round, there is a systematic way to do that to save you time, to save you frustration, and to position you with exactly the investor that you want. Same thing with customers, right? There is a systematic step-by-step approach that you can take or plan that you can build for yourself in order to get your first contracts, get your first segment of the market, do whatever you need to do. And so for me, what was really confusing about the sort of gigantic or gargantuan nature of the startup was, okay, which system do I actually start with optimizing? What gBETA actually helped me do most efficiently was put down on paper what is actually the sequence of A, B, and C that I need to make this a functioning product, a functioning company, and how do I actually generate a functioning vision? And so when I came into the program, and I'm sure many people, if not most, that go into it can sort of agree that they were in the same place, the idea of Simby, there was a vision there, but there wasn't really a clear mission or how to make that happen. What gBETA most successfully did with us was gave us not only that clear mission and how we can actually do that and what product we're actually selling, but also put us on the right path to have really a sequential plan for making it happen. From getting the capital that we needed to make it happen, to getting in front of the right people to help us build the product, to getting us in front of the right people to actually help us make it a real business legally. So, yeah.
I love that. I never really heard the breakdown, or at least not as eloquently as you described it with the system-based thinking and the approach that the accelerator brings to the entrepreneur. So thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
Um, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs and founders that are considering an accelerator program?
Mm. Well, the first piece of advice would be to do it. If you are thinking about it, right? There's this phrase that like no idea is too nascent when it comes to a startup. You don't know until you talk to your customers. That's true. No idea is too nascent. So even if you feel like, oh, I don't have this grandiose business plan, I don't have that step-by-step sequence of ideas on how to make this work that I was talking about. I haven't talked to a customer. The accelerator, like a gBETA, can definitely help you get there and get there a lot more efficiently than if you are playing in the shark-infested waters by yourself. So you should always be thinking about how to optimize your time because it really does become more costly over time. So yeah,
Tell us about your favorite part of the program, or perhaps your favorite connection made through the program.
you already know what I'm gonna say, Rochelle.
What
By
made
far.
Rochelle so unique? What's
So,
the story that stands
Rochelle,
up to
I will say Rochelle Sevier is awesome. We also met our two advisors through the gBETA program. So there was these days where we would be able to pitch mentors, and they would give us feedback on that pitch, but also give us feedback on any other questions that we have that were kind of relevant to their subject matter expertise. We met our advisor through there, Aaron Caradonna, who's awesome. Ryan Caradonna, who's also awesome. But Rochelle has definitely by far been, sorry, Aaron, my favorite connection. Why? Because she is still such a huge boon today. Like I said, we went through the program late 2023, early 2024, I believe, at the latest. Um, and every step of the way, when I have a question, a query, a problem, a sort of new milestone that I've hit, Rochelle is there to be a sounding board to really help me dig in the mud and understand either how to get out of said situation or how to optimize said scenario. And she's just magnificent. She is so talented with being able to take exactly what's going on with you, not only give you an anecdote on a similar or analogous situation that's going to be directly involved with what you're involved with, but also, again, building out that plan of here's your A, B, and C. Let's check next time that we meet on these like quantifiable metrics to see if you're actually being successful, and then let's go from there. I love that lady's brain.
I
She's
love it. We're
awesome.
so fortunate to have Rochelle. So again,
Yeah,
shout out to Rochelle and thank you for giving her flowers.
of course.
Very well deserved. My last question, Asha, if you had one ask for this audience, it could be an introduction you want, a customer you want, an investor you want, maybe it's just a philosophical question or problem that you're facing. What would that be?
Ooh, okay, one ask. Oh, I better use it wisely. Oh my. So my asks generally have been twofold, but I will focus on the most important. For me, the goal for Simby is again ubiquity across various market shares or market segments by early 2026. And so my goal is always going to be to talk to as many people as possible on behalf of Simby. So if you know somebody that is relevant to what we do, they're all about R&D, all about experimental design or the design of experiments, all about the proliferation and deployment of research, whether it's a university, a laboratory, federal contractor, send them my way. That's my only ask.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Asha. Asha Livaudais, SymbyAI. Thank you everyone for tuning in and hope you can learn more. Obviously, check out the link to her website in the description. Thanks,
Yes.
Asha. Cheers, everyone.